There comes a moment in every person's life when they look in the mirror and realize something has to change. Maybe you've hit rock bottom. Maybe you've lost your way. Maybe you're just tired of being a shadow of who you know you could be. That moment is sacred because in that moment, you're finally being honest with yourself. You're finally admitting that the life you're living isn't the life you're capable of living. And that admission, as painful as it is the first step toward transformation. Today is the day you start rebuilding. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when circumstances are perfect. Today. Rebuilding yourself isn't about becoming someone else. It's not about putting on a mask or pretending to be something you're not. It's about uncovering the strongest, most authentic version of yourself that's been buried under years of bad habits, negative thinking, self-doubt, and compromises you never should have made. Think about it. Every single person is born with unlimited potential. But somewhere along the way, life happens, trauma happens, failure happens, disappointment happens, and slowly, layer by layer, we bury that potential under excuses, fears, and limiting beliefs. Rebuilding is the process of excavating yourself, digging through all those layers until you find the real you underneath, the powerful you, the disciplined you, the unstoppable you. Here are 12 powerful habits that will completely transform your life. But understand this before we begin. Knowing them means nothing. Reading them means nothing. Feeling inspired for 10 minutes means nothing. Only doing them matters. Only implementing them consistently will create the change you're desperate for. Are you ready? Let's begin. The first habit is to wake up with intention. Stop letting your day happen to you. Most people open their eyes and immediately react. They grab their phone, they check messages, they scroll through social media. They let the chaos of the world flood into their minds before they've even decided who they're going to be that day. That's not how winners operate. The moment you open your eyes, before you do anything else, decide who you're going to be. Set your intention. Today, I will be disciplined. Today, I will be patient. Today, I will be productive. Today, I will move forward no matter what obstacles appear. Those first conscious thoughts set the tone for everything that follows. Your morning mindset determines your entire day. If you start reactive, you'll stay reactive. If you start intentional, you'll stay intentional. Spend just 60 seconds in silence, breathing deeply, setting your mental framework for the day ahead. Visualize yourself moving through your day with confidence, handling challenges with grace, making decisions aligned with your goals. Winners don't stumble into their day hoping things work out. They design their day with purpose. They decide in advance who they'll be and how they'll show up. This simple shift from reactive to intentional changes everything. The second habit is to move your body every single day. Your physical state controls your mental state. This isn't philosophy, this is biology. When your body is stagnant, your mind becomes stagnant. When your body is weak, your willpower becomes weak. When your body is undisciplined, every other area of your life becomes undisciplined. You don't need a gym membership, you don't need fancy equipment, you don't need an hour. You need commitment. Push-ups in your bedroom, squats in your living room, a run around your neighborhood, jumping jacks while your coffee brews, yoga stretches before you shower. It doesn't matter what you do, it matters that you do something. Movement creates momentum, and momentum creates change. When you move your body, you're sending a message to your brain. I'm not stuck. I'm not helpless. I'm taking action. I'm in control. And here's what nobody tells you about exercise. The physical benefits are actually secondary. The primary benefit is psychological. Every time you push through discomfort, every time you finish that last rep when your muscles are burning, every time you run that extra mile when your lungs are screaming, you're building mental toughness. You're proving to yourself that you can do hard things. You're developing the discipline that will carry over into every other area of your life. Your body is the vehicle of your dreams.
If you don't maintain it, if you don't strengthen it, if you don't respect it, you won't have the energy, the stamina, or the confidence to achieve anything significant. Treat your body like it matters, because it does. The third habit is to feed your mind before you feed your distractions. Most people wake up and immediately poison their minds with negativity. They turn on the news and absorb fear. They scroll social media and absorb comparison. They check emails and absorb other people's demands and problems. By the time they've been waking for 30 minutes, their minds are already cluttered with anxiety, inadequacy, and stress, and they wonder why they can't focus. They wonder why they feel overwhelmed before the day even starts. Here's what successful people do differently. They guard their morning mind viciously. They understand that the first information they consume sets the tone for their thinking throughout the day. So instead of poison, they feed themselves power.
Read 10 pages from a book that challenges you to grow. Listen to a podcast that teaches you something valuable. Watch a video that motivates you to take action. Study something that makes you better than you were yesterday. Your mind is a garden, and what you plant in it each morning will determine what grows throughout your day. Plant weeds, you get weeds. Plant seeds of growth, you get growth. And here's the compound effect that most people miss. If you read just 10 pages every morning, that's 70 pages a week, 300 pages a month, 3,600 pages a year. That's roughly 12 books annually, just from 10 minutes each morning. 12 books on psychology, business, health, relationships, mindset. Imagine how different you'd be after consuming that much knowledge. Imagine how much smarter, more confident, more capable you'd become. Meanwhile, the average person will scroll mindlessly through the same recycled content, learning nothing, growing nowhere, wondering why their life never improves. Feed your mind. Starve your distractions. The fourth habit is to write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude is the fastest way to shift your entire perspective. When you're rebuilding yourself, when you're starting from a place of brokenness or failure or disappointment, it's easy to focus on everything that's wrong, everything you've lost, everything that's broken, everything that's missing. That focus creates a downward spiral. The more you focus on lack, the more lack you experience. The more you focus on problems, the bigger your problems become. Gratitude breaks that cycle immediately. Every single morning, write down 3 specific things you're grateful for. Not generic things, not "I'm grateful for my family" every single day. Be specific, be present, be genuine. I'm grateful for the warm shower I just took. I'm grateful for the stranger who smiled at me yesterday. I'm grateful for the opportunity to start fresh today. I'm grateful for the lesson I learned from my recent failure. This practice rewires your brain. It trains you to look for the good instead of obsessing over the bad. It reminds you that even in your darkest moments, there are still things worth appreciating. And here's what happens over time. The more you practice gratitude, the more things you find to be grateful for. Your brain literally starts scanning your environment for positives instead of negatives. 3 things, every single day. It takes 2 minutes and changes everything. The person who appreciates what they have attracts more to appreciate. The person who focuses on abundance experiences more abundance. This isn't wishful thinking. This is neuroscience. The 5th habit is to do the hardest thing first. There's always one task you're avoiding, one conversation you're putting off, one difficult thing you know you need to do, but keep pushing to tomorrow, next week, next month. That avoidance is killing you. Not dramatically, slowly, like poison dripping into your system day after day. Every single time you avoid the hard thing, you're training yourself to be weak. You're reinforcing the pattern of taking the easy path. You're programming yourself to run from discomfort instead of running toward it. Winners do the opposite. They identify the hardest, most uncomfortable, most important task on their list, and they attack it first, before anything else, before emails, before meetings, before the easy stuff.
This concept is called eating the frog, and it's one of the most powerful productivity principles ever discovered. Why does it work? Because once you handle the thing you've been dreading, everything else becomes easier. The rest of your day feels lighter. Your confidence skyrockets. You build momentum that carries you through everything else. But more importantly, you're building discipline, real discipline, the kind that makes you unstoppable. Discipline isn't built during the easy moments. It's built when you choose to do the hard thing, even though every fiber of your being wants to do the easy thing. So tomorrow morning, identify your frog, the biggest, ugliest, most intimidating task, and eat it first. Do this consistently, and you'll become a different person, stronger, more confident, more capable. The kind of person who doesn't run from challenges, but runs straight through them. The sixth habit is to protect your time like it's money. Actually, protect it more than money, because you can always make more money. You can recover from financial losses. You can rebuild wealth, but you can never, ever make more time. Every single person gets the same 24 hours each day. The difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck isn't talent or intelligence or resources. It's how they use those hours. Stop saying yes to things that don't serve your growth. Stop spending hours with people who drain your energy and add no value to your life. Stop attending events you don't care about just because you feel obligated. Stop scrolling your life away on apps specifically designed to steal your focus and monetize your attention. Every hour you waste is an hour you'll never get back. Think about that. Really think about it. That hour you spent watching pointless videos, gone forever. That evening you spent with people who pull you down instead of lift you up, you'll never get that evening back. Time is the ultimate non-renewable resource, yet most people treat it like it's infinite. Start auditing your time like you'd audit your finances. Where are the leaks? Where are you hemorrhaging hours with nothing to show for it? Identify those leaks and plug them ruthlessly. Learn to say no, not rudely, not arrogantly, but firmly. No, I can't make that event. No, I need to focus on my priorities right now. No, that doesn't align with where I'm headed.
The seventh habit is to surround yourself with people who are building, not breaking. Show me your 5 closest friends, and I'll show you your future. This isn't a catchy quote. This is a fundamental truth about human psychology. We become like the people we spend the most time with. Their habits become our habits. Their standards become our standards. Their mindset becomes our mindset. If everyone around you is complaining, making excuses, blaming circumstances, and staying stuck, guess what you'll become? If your circle is full of people who celebrate mediocrity, who mock ambition, who pull down anyone trying to rise, you don't have a chance. You need people who challenge you, people who are growing, people who refuse to settle, people who hold you accountable when you start slipping, people who celebrate your wins and push you through your losses. This doesn't mean you have to abandon everyone in your life, but it does mean being intentional about who gets access to your energy and your time. You're trying to rebuild yourself. You're trying to become someone new. You can't do that surrounded by people who are content with staying the same. You can't grow in an environment that celebrates staying small. Sometimes you have to create distance from people you care about because their energy doesn't match where you're trying to go. That's not cold. That's not selfish. That's survival. Your environment shapes you more than your willpower ever could. If you're serious about transformation, you need to engineer an environment that supports transformation. Find mentors. Join communities of people pursuing similar goals. Build relationships with people who are already where you want to be. Invest time with people who inspire you to level up. Your circle should make you uncomfortable in the best way. They should make you want to work harder, think bigger, and refuse to settle. Upgrade your circle, upgrade your life. The 8th habit is to learn one new thing every day. Growth stops when learning stops. The moment you think you know enough, you start dying.
Not physically, mentally, spiritually. Your potential starts withering. The world is changing faster than ever. Skills that were valuable 5 years ago are obsolete today. Industries that dominated last decade are irrelevant now. If you're not constantly learning, you're not just standing still, you're moving backward. Read an article about something you don't understand. Watch a tutorial on a skill you want to develop. Listen to a podcast featuring someone smarter than you. Take an online course. Ask questions to people who know more than you. Study the strategies of people who've achieved what you want to achieve. Just 15 minutes of focused learning every single day adds up to over 90 hours a year. Think about what you could master with 90 hours of dedicated study. A new language, a marketable skill, a complete understanding of an industry, a transformation in your expertise. That's enough to completely change your career trajectory. That's enough to open doors that were previously locked. That's enough to become valuable in ways you weren't before. Meanwhile, most people will spend those same hours consuming entertainment that teaches them nothing, builds nothing, and leaves them exactly where they started. Here's the secret about learning. It compounds. Every piece of knowledge builds on the previous piece. Every skill enhances your other skills. Every insight connects to other insights, creating a web of understanding that makes you more capable, more confident, more valuable. The person you'll be a year from now is determined by the information you consume and the skills you develop today. Every single day you choose learning over mindless consumption, you're investing in a better version of yourself. Never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop evolving. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start becoming irrelevant. The 9th habit is to track your progress, not your perfection. You're going to mess up. You're going to have bad days. You're going to fall back into old patterns sometimes. You're going to fail at tasks you thought you'd mastered. That's not a possibility. That's a guarantee. That's part of being human. Nobody transforms without stumbling. Nobody rebuilds without setbacks. Nobody climbs without occasionally sliding backward. The problem is, most people don't track anything. They just feel their way through life, and feelings are terrible measurement tools. You can make significant progress, but still feel like you're failing because you're comparing yourself to some impossible standard of perfection. Start tracking your progress. Keep a journal. Use an app. Create a simple spreadsheet. Mark your wins, even the tiny ones. Did you wake up on time? Track it. Did you exercise? Track it. Did you read for 10 minutes? Track it. Did you resist the temptation to waste an hour on social media? Track it. Celebrate improvement, not just achievement. Progress isn't linear. Some days you'll take 3 steps forward, some days you'll take 2 steps back. But as long as you're trending upward over time, you're winning. When you track your progress, you create evidence for yourself. Evidence that change is real. Evidence that you're capable. Evidence that effort produces results. And on the hard days, when you feel like giving up, when you feel like nothing's working, you can look back at your tracking and see the proof. You can see how far you've come. You can see that you're not the same person you were 30 days ago, 90 days ago, 6 months ago. That evidence becomes fuel. It reminds you that consistency works. It shows you that small actions compound into massive results over time. Don't aim for perfection. Perfection is a trap that keeps you from starting. Aim for progress. Measure it. Celebrate it. Let it motivate you to keep going. The 10th habit is to create more than you consume.
The world is full of people who only take. They consume content. They consume products. They consume other people's energy and time. They take without ever giving anything back. And here's what happens to those people. They feel empty. They feel purposeless. They feel like they don't matter, because deep down, they know they're not contributing anything meaningful to the world. Consumption without creation leads to emptiness.
It's like breathing in without ever breathing out. Eventually, you suffocate. You need to create something, build something, make something, write something, help someone, solve a problem, add value somewhere, contribute something meaningful to the world. It doesn't have to be massive. You don't need to write a best-selling book or build a billion-dollar company. Start small. Write a helpful post online. Create a piece of art. Build a website. Start a side project. Mentor someone younger than you. Volunteer your time to a cause you care about. Creation gives you purpose. It gives you pride. It gives you proof that you matter, that your existence adds something to the world. When you create, you stop being a spectator and become a participant. You stop watching other people live interesting lives and start building your own interesting life. And here's the beautiful part about creation. It's contagious. The more you create, the more you want to create. The more value you add, the more value you want to add. It becomes a positive spiral that lifts you higher and higher. Stop being passive. Stop just consuming what others produce. Get in the game. Contribute something. Build something. Make something that didn't exist before you showed up. The 11th habit is to end your day with reflection. Before you sleep, before you turn off the lights and let unconsciousness take over, spend 5 minutes reviewing your day. What went well? What could have gone better? What did you learn? What will you do differently tomorrow? This simple habit creates self-awareness, and self-awareness is the foundation of all growth. Most people never improve because they never reflect. They just repeat the same day over and over, making the same mistakes, falling into the same patterns, wondering why nothing ever changes. They're like someone driving a car but never checking the mirrors, never looking at the road signs, never paying attention to where they're actually going. They just drive and hope they end up somewhere good. That's insanity. Winners study themselves constantly. They analyze their decisions. They examine their behaviors. They identify their patterns. They learn from their mistakes. They optimize constantly. When you reflect daily, you spot patterns you'd otherwise miss. You notice that you're most productive in the morning, but crash after lunch, so you adjust your schedule. You realize that certain people drain your energy, so you limit contact. You see that you make poor decisions when you're tired, so you build better rest habits. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Without reflection, you just accumulate experiences without actually learning from them. Get a journal. Keep it by your bed. Every night, write briefly about your day, what you did well, what you could improve, what you learned, what you're grateful for, what you'll do differently tomorrow. Over time, you'll have a roadmap of your transformation. You'll be able to look back and see exactly how you evolved from who you were to who you've become. 5 minutes, that's all it takes. 5 minutes of honest self-reflection that could be the difference between staying stuck and achieving breakthrough. The 12th and final habit is to be ruthlessly consistent. This is the habit that makes all the other habits work. This is the multiplier. This is the difference between people who talk about change and people who actually change. Motivation fades. You know this. You've felt it. You get excited about a new goal, fired up for a few days, maybe even a few weeks. Then life happens. Something goes wrong. You have a bad day, and suddenly all that motivation evaporates. Inspiration comes and goes. You watch a powerful video, read an incredible book, hear an amazing speech, and you feel unstoppable for about 48 hours. Then that feeling fades, and you're back to your old self. Feelings are unreliable. Some days you'll feel energized. Some days you'll feel exhausted. Some days you'll feel confident. Some days you'll feel like a fraud. If you only take action when you feel like it, you'll barely take action at all. But consistency is what separates people who talk from people who do. Consistency is what separates dreamers from achievers. Consistency is what creates miracles. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have your best performance every single day. You need to show up. You need to do the work even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, even when nobody's watching, even when results aren't immediate. Success isn't built on the days when everything feels easy and motivation is high and everything aligns perfectly. Success is built on the days when everything feels impossible, when every fiber of your being wants to quit, when giving up would be so much easier than continuing, and you do it anyway. That's where champions are made. In those uncomfortable moments when it would be so easy to skip a day, to make an excuse, to say, "I'll start again Monday." Winners show up on Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday, and every day after that. They show up when they're tired. They show up when they're discouraged. They show up when progress seems invisible. Because they understand something most people never grasp. Consistency compounds. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. One workout won't transform your body, but 1,000 workouts will. One day of eating healthy won't change your health, but 1,000 days will. 1 hour of learning won't make you an expert, but 1,000 hours will. Consistency is the ultimate multiplier. It's the force that turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. So commit to these 12 habits, not just today, not just this week, not just until you feel better. Commit to them as a lifestyle, as a permanent upgrade to who you are. Here's what most people don't understand about rebuilding yourself. It's not a one-time event. It's not a 30-day challenge. It's not something you do until you reach a goal and then stop. It's a complete lifestyle transformation.
These 12 habits aren't shortcuts. They're not hacks. They're not tricks. They're the fundamentals that every successful, fulfilled, powerful person practices daily. The foundations that support everything else. You can't pick and choose. You can't do them only when you feel like it. You can't practice them until things get better and then abandon them. You have to commit completely. And yes, it will be hard at first. Your old self will resist. Your comfort zone will scream at you to stop. Your brain will generate 1,000 reasons why you should quit, why this won't work, why you should wait until conditions are better. People around you might not understand. They might even try to pull you back. They'll offer temptations. They'll mock your efforts. They'll tell you you're trying too hard, being too intense, taking life too seriously. Ignore them. They are speaking from their own limitations, not your potential. But here's what happens when you push through all of that, when you commit to these habits despite the resistance, despite the discomfort, despite the doubt. Slowly, week by week, you'll notice something changing. You'll have more energy, more clarity, more confidence, more control, more peace. You'll start seeing opportunities you couldn't see before. You'll start taking actions you couldn't take before. You'll start having conversations you couldn't have before. You'll start becoming someone you couldn't be before. The broken version of you will start fading away like a bad dream, and the powerful version, the version that was always there, buried under years of poor choices and negative programming, will start emerging. People will notice. They'll ask, "What's different about you?" They'll want to know your secret. And the truth is, there is no secret. Just 12 simple habits practiced consistently until they become who you are. Rebuilding yourself isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about constructing something stronger, wiser, and more resilient than what existed before. It's about taking all the pain, all the failure, all the disappointment, all the lessons you've learned through struggle, and using them as foundation stones for the person you're becoming. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from experience, and that makes you dangerous. You know what failure feels like, so you'll do whatever it takes to avoid it. You know what rock bottom looks like, so you'll never go back there.
You know what wasted potential feels like, so you'll fight to fulfill yours. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just listen to these 12 habits and feel inspired for 10 minutes before going back to your old life. Don't just nod along and think, that's nice, and then change nothing. Actually implement them, starting today, starting right now, starting with the very next decision you make. Pick 3 of these habits and commit to them for the next 30 days. Just 3. Don't try to do everything at once. Master those 3. Build them into your routine until they become automatic. Then add 3 more. Then 3 more after that. Build momentum. Create proof for yourself that change is possible. Let small wins fuel bigger wins. Because the truth is, you already know what you need to do. You've always known. You're not lacking information. You're lacking implementation. You're lacking commitment. You're lacking the willingness to be uncomfortable long enough for change to take root. You're waiting for permission, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready, waiting for circumstances to align, waiting for fear to disappear. Stop waiting. The perfect moment doesn't exist. You'll never feel completely ready. Fear will never fully disappear. Circumstances will never be ideal. But you know what? You can start anyway. You can take action despite the fear. You can move forward despite the uncertainty. You can begin rebuilding even though you don't have all the answers. The person you're meant to become is waiting on the other side of these 12 habits. That version of you is confident, disciplined, purposeful, and powerful. That version of you doesn't make excuses, doesn't blame circumstances, doesn't quit when things get hard. That version of you already exists, not in some distant future, right now, trapped inside you, waiting for you to make the decision to become them. 12 habits, practiced consistently, implemented ruthlessly, committed to completely. That's the bridge between who you are and who you're capable of being. The question isn't whether you can do it. The question is whether you will. Will you actually change, or will you just think about changing? Will you actually rebuild, or will you just wish things were different? Will you actually commit, or will you just dabble until it gets hard? Your rebuild starts today, right now, in this moment. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when you feel more motivated or more prepared or more confident. Now. Make the decision. Take the first step. Start building the new you. And don't stop until the person in the mirror is someone you're proud to be. 12 habits. 1 transformed life. Make it count.